Today marks 3 years since Superstorm Sandy hit, and now all this time later, there's still a question that lingers. Are we safer? CBS 2's Dick Brennan here with a look at life after Sandy and what's being done to protect the tri-state area, its shores, its people. Dick?
There's a lot to protect, Dana. We can tell you the boardwalks and the beaches have largely been restored. Subway shafts will be sealed when necessary, but many homes were never repaired, and there's a nagging sense about what happens when we get hit again. When the storm came ashore, it triggered flooding, and in Breezy Point, raging flames. Tunnels turned into rivers.
That water is now spilling over into the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel.
And lives were lost in a rage of nature. 3 years later, we are still rebuilding. The city says some 60% of the people in the Build It Back program have started construction or are getting financial help returning home.
We're safer now than we were when Sandy hit.
Dan Zerilli is the director of the Mayor's Office of Recovery and Resiliency and says the city has been hardening coastlines.
We've put in place 4.2 million cubic yards of sand on our beaches. Almost 10 miles of dunes have been constructed across the city, and we've upgraded miles of bulkheads.
The boardwalks have largely come back, like this one in Belmar. But Rockaways is still being rebuilt. Sandy's floods wreaked havoc on subways. The MTA built a new seawall to protect the A train to the Rockaways, and work continues on the destroyed South Ferry station.
We are in the process, first of all, of rebuilding that station, but at the same time, we're working to harden stations.
Amtrak's Hudson tunnels still need major renovations. NJ Transit will elevate trains at the Hoboken Rail Yard. On Staten Island, hardest hit of all the boroughs, the city is restoring 68 acres of wetlands. Sandy forced hospital evacuations. FEMA has now given more than $2 billion for hospitals to relocate generators and build flood walls. The night Sandy rolled in, I was standing right here in the Battery, and I saw something I don't think I could have ever imagined in Manhattan. This is supposed to be an evacuation zone, and this is the best advertisement for an evacuation zone. Look at this water. That guy's car, if you can see it in the back, that's not coming out for a while. A few blocks away, floodwaters poured into the Battery Tunnel. The MTA now has plans to seal the tunnel when necessary, but the question remains, are we ready for the next storm?
We had Isabel here, we had Irene here.
Columbia University geophysicist Klaus Jacob is on the mayor's advisory panel on climate change. Weeks before Sandy, he very accurately predicted what a huge storm surge could do to the city. And he now says, with stronger storms and rising water, billions more must be spent.
And we just have to grasp this, what this means. If not, we will have those Sandy recurrences over and over again.
So, Dick, what more can be done?
Well, that's the big question. You know, Klaus Jacob, who you just saw, he insists we have to rethink everything, spend billions more money, raise things up, in some cases flat out retreat from the shore. But, you know, let's be fair. The feds in the city, they've spent a lot of money already, and realistically, what are you going to do? You can't withdraw from Lower Manhattan and places like that. So this is an ongoing debate, and many people have many differing opinions.
And there's a lot of emotion involved as well. And still, you think 3 years, wow, but still there's so much.
Everybody says, you know, you're always fighting the last storm or the last battle, and there is some sense of that, but there are a lot of forward-thinking people in the city and in the federal people who are saying, you know, we have to think about what else could happen, and that's the key.
That's good. That's good. Thank you for that, Dick.